Hello, hello, my friends in the comic book world. This is your boy, your friend, your buddy, Marcelo, Carey, bringing another episode of Comics Con Sabor. That's right, guys. This is episode number 8 from Comics Con Sabor. Yeah, that's right, episode 8 of Comics Con Sabor. Today's episode is a book that had me curious when I first looked at the cover. Because I'm very visual sometimes. And like if the cover gets me, I'm like, ooh, like I'm curious. So and this book did that. And I'm talking about Radiant Black from Image Comics. By Mr. Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa. And hopefully I didn't butcher your name, Mr. Higgins, too much. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, Radiant Black is very interesting because like this is a brand new hero that more or less is being introduced by Image, and I was a little like at the beginning when I was reading the story that more or less like starts with like Nathan, which he is the main character, more or less Radiant Black. He's done on his luck. He's an author. He's a writer. He's trying to get his book out, but no, it's not going well. So he moves back to his parents' house. His boy Marshall is right there. They're talking, and they're like, "Look, let's go out, get some drinks, whatever, whatever, whatever." So they're going out, having some drinks. So he's talking and like feeling all, not like you're more or less like a little, basic story, like, oh, I'm done on my luck, and then, I become a hero kind of thing. So I was like, okay. So, but the more I was reading, like, into that moment, I'm like, oh, like something, I don't know, like, it clicked on me when more or less this orb, black orb, was literally, they're coming out of the bar, and it's floating right around, Marshall and Nathan, like by the car. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then like he touches it and he transforms, or not transforms, but like this suit comes, you know, all around him. I'm like, okay, you know, it's a basic story. Then the cops showed up, and what really got me, I don't know, because it's his friend Marshall starts talking like all this smack to the cops. I'm like, oh, why you guys are bothering us? So I'm like, oh, this is going into like, there, like, oh, really? Like, you think you're above all and all that? So I was like, all right, whatever. So then, Nathan, like, look, we're about to leave. We're leaving, no problems. We're on the tracks. But, can you guys move out of the way? Whatever, whatever. And then there's a train coming. And they're telling the cops, look, can you guys move forward? Because there's a train coming. Like, no, it's not. Like, what's going on? So then out of nowhere, Nathan thinks of moving the train, and the train, like, levitates. The entire train. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm not sure what it is now. Like, what type of powers he has. But then he starts to fly as well, his friend and the police officer. And they're like, are you doing this? Whatever, whatever. And they're like, if you let us go, we'll drop you down. And the other cop behind him goes, yeah, okay, that's fine. So that was funny. Brought them down, and then they fly away. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of curious. But when his friend Marshall said, look, you're going to need help. I'm going to help you because you're a superhero now. And you have these powers, these abilities, and more or less like whatever he tells, like Nathan, whatever tells the Orb the suit, like it happens. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it reminds me a little of this old school show back in the day, The Greatest American Hero. I don't know if you guys ever watched it or you guys are too young for it. Something of that sort. Small similarities. So I'm like, okay. But and it's funny because like Marshall, his boy, tells him, look, you might be like the only one around there with this power. So I'm like, you have to be a hero. But then as soon as, like, you know, I'm turning to the next page, they introduce another character, more or less Radiant Red. So I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, that was very curious. I'm like, so now they are introducing the entire lineup, my guess, of new heroes with different colors. I don't know where this is going now. But when they introduce this character, like Radiant Red, like in the final pages, he's literally like robbing a bank. So I'm like, oh, okay, so, you know. So now, like, I'm curious to see what type of powers he has. Because right now, I don't know what kind of powers Radiant Black has. He could fly. My guess he could control things. My guess is telekinesis or something like that. So I don't know. So, like, see what Radiant Red has, like, in issue 2. But so far, I'm like, okay, like, I'll give it a look. I'll give it a read. Like, I'll read the first arc to see how it continues or how it is. And then I'll see, like, if I keep reading it. If not, you know, I just let you guys know. So, yeah, that was episode 8 of Comics Con Sabor, guys. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time. If you guys can just do me a favor, don't forget to like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, so you guys can help me with the YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate you guys. Nothing but peace and love for everybody. See you in the next episode. Peace.